How to eat healthy like a minimalist. Let's stop overcomplicating nutrition. It's not that difficult. You don't need to make these drastic changes. One thing I really pride myself in is I don't put my clients on drastic diets. Sorry if you're hearing that, but my dog needed a treat because of the time change. She thinks it's supper time, but it's not. So I gave her a Kong and she's playing with that so I can film. Okay, back to the video. How can I change my diet as little as possible for maximum results? Because we all think, okay, well, maybe I need to change maximum for maximum results. But maybe if we just change a little, will we still see amazing results? And guess what I discovered? You're gonna see awesome results with little changes. Why go to extremes if you don't need to? I am definitely a foodie. I love good food. I used to believe that if you love food, you just never could get super fit, and I yo-yoed for years. And I've always been really fascinated with French European culture. I live in New Brunswick now, and we definitely have missed the boat when it comes to nutrition here. Yeah, so I started kind of studying and really looking into French culture, their wine, their pasta, their butter, their high quality cheese. And I was like, I want to eat like that, but how come they're not gaining weight from this? And we're told in Western world that if we eat like this, we're gonna gain weight. Through my own research, I discovered that we're being lied to. Yeah, so I started learning from different cultures. For example, my husband's culture, they eat so much rice and they are not overweight. Most Persian people I meet, they eat rice with every meal and they're not overweight like we are in the Western world. Here in New Brunswick, in Canada, across the States, like Western culture, Western media is trying to sell you a narrative that is wrong. That is totally wrong. There's so much money to be made in diet foods and diet pills and the weight loss culture. So they're selling you a lie. And I'm here to tell you that you don't need any of that crap. You can change your diet minimally, eat like a minimalist, make it super easy for yourself and see long-term changes and enjoy food like you should. I've narrowed it down to these tips so then you don't need to go on a diet. You don't need to follow the new fads. You can just eat, enjoy your food, make small changes that are easy and doable and maintainable. Look at your diet, look at your nutrition, and just focus on the worst 20%. Don't change the rest, just the worst 20%. That's it. You'll see amazing changes in time. All right, let's get into the 8 points. Number 1, portion control. I know you've heard this a million times, but there's a little twist. If you are waiting till you are starving to eat, you're never gonna be able to portion control. Let's say a hunger scale is 0 is not hungry, 10 is starving, so hungry you could eat anything. You don't wanna wait till you're a 10 to start eating. You wanna start eating when you're a 6, 7. You know, when it's started, when you're like, ooh, I could eat. For me, this took me a long time to get used to doing because most people want to lose weight, so they're like, I don't want to eat until I have to. Well, that is your first mistake. You want to eat before then. If you are starting to think about food, like, ooh, yeah, I know you're thinking about food. If you're starting to think about food, it's probably a sign that you need to eat. Okay, I'll get you a chair. There you go. You got your own chair. Once you start thinking about food, don't prevent yourself from eating. Eat. If you start eating at a 7 hunger, then you want to stop eating at a 7 fullness. So you're content but not stuffed. You're starting to get hungry but you're not starving. This takes practice, but in time, if you can nail this, it will help. I promise you. I promise, I promise, I promise. Number 2, quality matters. It matters and it makes a huge difference. You're gonna feel a lot more satisfied with less calories if you choose high quality foods. For example, I see a lot of people eating low-fat dairy, pre-shredded cheese. There's chemicals, there's crap in there, there's additives. You want real high quality cheese, which would have just a few ingredients. It can be a bit more expensive to buy a higher quality ice cream, but quality matters. If you are choosing processed, cheap ice cream, you're gonna be able to overeat it because it's not real. You want full fat, real ice cream with real ingredients and you'll be able to eat a lot less. I've actually found an app I really like. It's called Yucca. Yucca, I'm assuming like the vegetable. You can scan any barcode and it'll show you whether it's a good, bad, or poor food. And you can click on it and it'll show you why they say it's bad or poor quality for you. So my only issue with this app is that it'll tell you that a high fat food is bad, which I disagree. So like a full fat goat cheese log showed me that it was bad. I disagree with that completely because there's no additives. But the nice part is if you just click on it, it'll tell you the additives. So if there are no additives, you'll know right away that it's a good food. And if there are additives, like for example, mayonnaise, it showed, so my parents had this mayo and it says bad. The additives here, it says, if you click on more, calcium disodium is believed to be a mutagenic, which means that it is capable of altering the structure of genetic material. Certain studies on rats also show a potential carcinogenic effect on the stomach and thyroid gland. You sure you want to buy that cheap mayo? What's awesome is it gives you alternatives of better food items to choose from. And actually I found a great mayo from Costco that is like made with olive oil. And I actually bought it for myself, and I'm not even a mayo person, but I just couldn't help it. Fresh, local, in season, you're not gonna go wrong with those things. Number 3, lower refined sugar. Guys, I love sweet stuff, but I don't eat very much refined sugar at all. I buy baked goods that are made with maple syrup or honey or date sugar, coconut sugar. I just try to reduce it as much as possible. There's no health benefits in eating refined sugar. You're just gonna crave it more and more, but natural sugars are great for you. So just exchange. So where are you having a lot of refined sugar? Is it your cereal? Can you switch it out for a better cereal? Is it your ice cream? Is it your pastries? Can you make your own? Can you find a substitute? Lower refined sugar somehow. Number 4, limit processed foods. Eat real food. It's as simple as that. If it's overly processed, that means it's not gonna go bad. That means there's a bunch of additives that are not good for you, that can be affecting your goals, that can be affecting your progress. We all know what processed foods are. Just try to cut them down. Cut them down, try to eat real whole foods. If you need some help, find a local food delivery service to help you out even with a few meals a week if you don't want to cook. Or there's usually health food stores that are way more popular now where you can go grab a few meals that are ready anytime that you need one. What I like to do is I go get them, keep them in my freezer for when I need them. Create or come up with healthier alternatives of the foods you cannot live without. And maybe ask yourself why you think this food is bad. Because oftentimes I hear people say like, oh, I can't live without burgers, so I'm never gonna, lose weight. Well, I love burgers and I eat burgers like weekly with fries. But can you make fries with the air fryer? Can you make your burger at home? Healthier alternatives, it's not that complicated. Instead of Greco pizza, can you make a healthy pizza? Can you find a healthier alternative at your supermarket? I often make pita pizzas, or I buy these frozen cauliflower pizzas, the Ogi brand, and I add stuff to it. And the crust is like delicious. Or if you love sweets, there are alternatives out there. Maybe go to the organic section. Find yourself what you like. I loved chocolate bars growing up. Milk chocolate was my jam. But I knew that if I want to be the healthiest version of myself, studies show that you need to be eating 70% dark chocolate or more. So I started buying my own chocolate, dark chocolate. I make these nice chocolate bars, or you can eat it as is. But I like to take my dark chocolate, I melt in some coconut oil, maybe some nuts and seeds and some dried fruit, and I put that in the freezer, and it is amazing. I also am obsessed with ice cream, so I always have a coconut high quality ice cream in the fridge. But if I'm looking for something a little healthier, then I make ice cream from frozen bananas and coconut milk, and it is amazing. With a little bit of vanilla extract, so good. And I'm not a big banana person, but it's very, very good. And it's healthy. So when I have this ice cream, I'm actually getting healthier. Research shows that we are still under eating protein as a population like crazy. So that tells me that if you are not strength training, we do need to get you strength training, and the fastest way to build muscle is to increase your protein. That will change your body composition by adding more protein today. Doesn't mean you need to eat all the protein, but find the protein that you enjoy and how can you add it in more consistently. You don't need to count it, doesn't need to get crazy, just can you add more at each meal or most meals. Number 7. Volume eating, which is one of my favorite tips, is you can add more good to your meals to feel more satisfied. I've never seen anybody gain weight from increasing vegetables. So add your favorite vegetables. You don't need to eat all the vegetables if you don't like them. But if you love certain vegetables, add them. Add them. Oftentimes, for me, that's just I'll cut up a bunch of romaine and I'll put my meal on top of that, or I'll add spinach into my pasta, or spinach on top of my pizza, or I'll add any greens. Whatever vegetables I'm in the mood for, I just allow myself to fill my plate with that to feel like I'm eating more volume. If you feel like you're eating enough volume, you're gonna feel more satisfied. And it's gonna help with portion control in time. So this is an easy way to add more good food that's lower in calorie, but that's gonna give you good nutrition. So you wanna add more vegetables and fruit into your diet. Just allow yourself to eat as much of that as you want. I've never seen somebody gain weight from eating too many apples. I've never seen somebody gain weight from eating too many bananas. That is not the issue. Fruit is not the issue. Vegetables are not the issue. Eat all the colors. Add it into your meal as much as you like. You don't need to eat the stuff you don't like. That is okay, but it's just an easy way to get in more without overly increasing your calories. And my last point, stop mindless eating. So in other words, be present, sit down, turn off your distractions, try not to eat in the car, try not to eat when you're working, when you're doing other things. Try to put that aside, try to focus on your food. I used to have a bad habit of eating fast when I was on the phone, and I almost wouldn't even remember what I ate, so it felt like I didn't eat anything. So if you can just pay attention, try to slow it down. One of the biggest issues I see is that people eat way too fast. Just a bad habit. You just need to break the habit. It's not gonna just happen. You need to put effort into breaking the habit. There's tricks out there. Maybe take one bite, put your fork down. Try to not be the first one to be done eating if you're eating with people. Chew your food, 20 to 30 chews. Whatever, there's so many tricks, whatever works, whatever you think will slow you down. One thing I stopped doing is eating my meal in front of Netflix. Do I ever do it? Sometimes, but 95% of the time I eat my meal at the table where I can sit and pay attention. And if you look into, European cultures where they don't have an obesity problem, they sit down, enjoy their food, they take their time, they don't shovel it in. So if we can do anything right now, I would say that is the most important thing. Slow it down, don't mindlessly eat, stop eating before you are stuffed. All right guys, I hope that gives you a little insight. It doesn't need to be overcomplicated. Even if you start with just a few of these, I promise you it will make a difference. Even start with one. Start with one, and once you have it nailed down, add another one. And I promise you, you will see amazing results without sacrificing, without giving up foods you love, without losing that joy of food. And of course, you don't need to be perfect. Yes, sometimes you're gonna get takeout pizza. Yes, sometimes you're gonna go to the restaurant and get whatever the heck you want. Sometimes you're gonna overeat. It's no big deal. Sometimes you're gonna eat in front of Netflix, but what you do 90% of the time is what matters. Because if I can inspire you to do anything, would be to have a better relationship with food, because food is meant to be enjoyed. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'll see you guys soon in the next video. Bye. She is so needy today. How am I supposed to film? You gotta go. Okay, hi everyone. Get yourself a rescue dog. Seriously. Do something good. Go get a rescue.